Welcome back to Leveraging Leadership, where we unpack the art of business leadership. I'm your host, Emily Sander, Chief of Staff turned Executive Leadership Coach. This show is all about finding your points of greatest influence and leveraging them to better serve those around you. What is your currency? What currency are you dealing in? Do you need to exchange your currency for something else? I was just having this conversation with a chief of staff, a new chief of staff, and she had had a previous role where her currency, so to speak, and she brought up this term like, look, Emily, my currency was in production and numbers. I added value. My worth was derived from what me and my team could produce and the stats and metrics that I could show people. So production and numbers. And in the chief of staff role, that's not the currency that you deal in. And we had this great discussion and we got to the point where it was like, the currency of your chief of staff role is relationships and culture. You are building relationships. You are building and forging and designing the culture. And that's the currency you're dealing with. And before, she was kind of stumbling and having like this weird experience and sensation when she would try to use her old currency. And people wouldn't like that. That's not what we deal in. It was kind of like going to a different country. And so you have your local currency of your country. And then when you go to someplace else and you try to give them your local currency, they're like, no, we don't accept that. Like we can't do anything with that. And you have to go to one of those little exchange booths and exchange your currency and then bring it back. And they're like, okay, now I know how to interact with you. It's kind of the same thing where, oh, Emily, okay, now that I know my currency, I can look out at my day and week and say, all right, here are the places I need to invest in these relationships, in designing the culture. And that's what brings value to the team and the company through this chief of staff role. That's the currency that I have to deal in. So I thought it was a really great conversation and I wanted to share that. And I think it's a worthy question to ask ourselves, right? Like, what currency am I currently dealing in? Is that the most useful? Is that the most relevant one? Or am I trying to like tender cash to someone who's like, I can't do anything with that. We don't have that here. And would it be useful to switch it to something else? So, just a question for you to ask yourself. And you might ask yourself and go, I think I'm actually dealing in the right currency. I think I'm actually doing just fine. In which case, that's awesome. Keep doing that. And you might say, part of what I'm doing seems appropriate and seems relevant. And then, ooh, maybe this part I could tweak a little bit and that would be more useful. And it might be like this person I was talking to, where it's like, I need to overhaul everything that I'm doing. I need a brand new currency. I'm traveling internationally and I need to go to the little exchange booth. If you're trying to wrestle through some of these things or get clear on some of these things or want an outside opinion, then I would be happy to support you in a free 30-minute clarity call. And we can go through all of that stuff and find the right currency for you. Relationships and culture are pretty common ones for chiefs of staff, but yours could be different for the stage that you're in of the stage of the company or the stage of the role. It could be different. And by the way, this can change. So the answer to this question can change over time. Another one might be, just off the top of my head here, might be time and focus. So, okay, as chief of staff right now, I need to make sure my ELT, my executive team, and specifically my principal, their time and focus is being placed in the right areas. Their time is being well spent and they're focusing on the right things. That's my currency. If I do nothing else but that, I will have added value. I will be bringing worth to my ELT in this chief of staff role. So, what is your currency? Are you dealing in the right currency? And do you need to exchange your currency for something else? Go ask yourself those questions. Go forth, be a good leader, be a great chief of staff, and I will catch you next time on Leveraging Leadership.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.